Marge, the sharing of the screen and everything is set up, and I posted the link as well in the chat. Hey, Krishna, so much. Marge, you're muted, so I don't know what you're.
I have already tweeted to my Twitter.
Excellent, Raj. I tried to give it a few minutes in advance. You have it. And then, Prabhu, do you mind being the not? I forget the word I'm looking for because Dad is not well at all.
Oh yeah, I heard.
He is. Yeah. I'm gonna force him tomorrow to. I'm gonna force him to go to the urgent care tomorrow to just make sure, because
Okay.
He may not listen, but I'll try my best to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A medical evacuation.
He's gonna have to get looked at, Raj. This is not like him at all to rest like this. He doesn't do that.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, one thing is the library reservations in his name.
Yeah, I was gonna call Mirage in the morning and just see, just show that if they could just put in my name, or if we could just,
Oh, my name also doesn't make a difference. That would be fine.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely be there, but him, I want him. He needs to rest. He'll fight me on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks. Yeah.
Because it's Murfreesboro. I think if you just show up and say, well, my daddy's a little sick, but I'm his daughter.
Right. I was gonna do it in the morning when I'm driving in from Nashville. I was gonna go there first thing and just actually talk to them to make sure we would be fine even if he's not there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Of course, Raj. Hey, Krishna.
You're going to be a good chief executive officer.
Thank you, Raj. It's because of all of you, not because of me.
Muscle manju.
Thank you, Raj.
Like that. Kind of like Laura Croft Tomb Raider. Okay, here we go. Here, Tom.
Raj.
Yes, Maharaj. It's already 8:01, Maharaj. I also need some responder. Looks like no one wants to respond.
I can do it, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane.
Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharini Nevishesha Shunyavadi Pashatyade Sattarini.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvashesha Sunyavadi Paschatadishatarini.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasaki Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada, Jaya Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada.
Jaya Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Patita Pavana Shila Prabhupada, Jaya Patita Pavana Shila Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anand
Ki
Koti
jai.
Vaishnava ki jai.
Namaste ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Floor is yours.
Okay. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda.
Okay. Sri Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishna Das Kaviraj. With the word by word translations, English translations, and elaborate purports. Parampara by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Adi Lila, Chapter 13, The Advent of Lord Chaitanya. Text 80. Please repeat. Choda Shatu Chaya Sake Sesha Magamase. Pandavika, can you respond?
Sure, Maharaj. Soya Shate Chaya Sake Sokamakama Se.
Choda Sata Chaya Sake Shesha Magamase.
Choda Shate Chaya Sake Sesha Makamashe.
Jagannatha Sachira Dehe Krishnera Pravesha.
Jagannatha Sachirera Deha Krishnara Praveshe.
Jagannatha Sachira Dehe Krishnera Praveshe.
Jagannatha Sachira Dehe Krishnara Praveshe.
In the month of January, in the year 1406 of the Shaka era, which is 1485, Anno Domino, year of our Lord, which is 7 years before Columbus discovered America. Lord Krishna entered the bodies of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi. Okay, so being a mother and father in the material world uh, can be a very, very spiritual and intense process if you're involved in Krishna consciousness. Okay. Mishra kahe sache stane deki anareta Jyotir Maya Deha Geha Lakshmi Adistita. Jagannath Mitra said to Sachi Mata, I see wonderful things. Your body is effulgent, and it appears as if the goddess of fortune were now staying personally in my home. Anywhere and everywhere I go, all people offer me respect, even without asking. They are voluntarily giving me riches, clothing, and paddy. Because he's a Brahmin, so this is natural. Shachikahe. I see wonderfully brilliant human beings appearing in outer space as if offering prayers. Jagannath Mishra replied, in a dream, I saw the effulgent abode of the Lord in my heart. To my heart, it entered your heart. They therefore understand that a great personality will take birth. After this conversation, husband and wife were very jubilant, and together they rendered service to the household Shalagram Shila. Wow, it's a long purport. In this way, the pregnancy approached its 13th month. Oh my goodness. But still, there was no sign of delivery of the child. My goodness. Thus, and Mother Sachi has already lost, what, 7 daughters or something, or 9 or something, maybe 7 or 8 or something. And so she must be in a lot of anxiety, the poor lady. Thus, Jagannath Mishra became very apprehensive. Nilamba Chakrabarti, the grandfather of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I think he's the maternal grandfather, so he must have also been in a lot of anxiety about Sachi, then did an astrological calculation and said that in that very month, taking advantage of an auspicious moment, the child would take birth. Is this possible? Is this fairy tales? No. Prabhupada is saying if an astrologer is properly trained, he can see these things, he can see the signs from nature. But it's very difficult to find someone so qualified. But maybe our next generation, you know, growing up in ISKCON, and then their children, all these abilities will start to develop. And they'll see if the Ukraine attacks Russia on this day at this time, they'll be defeated. Okay, so yeah, these things are very important, very practical. Yeah, nobody could understand the exact time of Ronald Reagan's birthday. He kept his astrological information completely secret. You couldn't even find out from his mother. So Ronald Reagan and other people too, they accepted these things. Thus, in the year 1407, in the Shaka era, 1486, which is what is this? 1896, Prabhupada was born. In the month of Falguna, February, March, in the evening of the full moon, the desired auspicious moment arrived. Yeah. The moon was in Leo. Leo was attended by several planets were in very strong positions. So it gives the astrology there. When the spotless moon of Lord Chaitanya became visible, what would be the need for a moon full of black marks on its body? Considering this, Rahu, the black planet, covered the moon. And immediately the vibrations of Krishna, Krishna, Hari inundated the three worlds. All people thus chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra during the lunar eclipse. All people thus chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra during the lunar eclipse, and their minds were struck with wonder. When the whole world was thus chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, in the form of Gaurahari, Krishna in the form of Gaurahari advented himself on the world. Prasanna Haila Shaba Jagater Amana Hari Bali Hinduke Asya Hariya Yavana. Okay. No. The whole world was pleased. While the Hindus chanted the holy name of the Lord, the non-Hindus, especially the Muslims, jokingly imitated the words. Hari Bali, Nari Gana De Hula Huli. Svarge Vadya Nrityakari Deva Kutuhali. Hula Huli. I guess it was on Netflix, or what do you call it? YouTube. When all the ladies vibrated the holy names of Hari on earth, and the heavenly planets began while the ladies on earth vibrated the holy names, and the heavenly planets dancing and music were going on, for the demigods were very curious. So we can attract people to Murfreesboro. The demigods will come, and even though our timeline is impossible, it'll all work out. So all the things that are happening to us, whether we're meeting people or not meeting people, if people are sick or people are not sick, this is all under the control of Krishna if we're taking advantage of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. And Lord Chaitanya appeared. Did you take him into your heart? Is it 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago? Yeah. Did we take him into our heart? Did we accept that he was born into our lives? In this atmosphere, all 10 directions were jubilant, as did the waves of the rivers. Yeah. Became jubilant, as did the waves of the rivers. So we have to go look at the Stones River and see what the waves are doing there. Moreover, all beings, moving and non-moving, were overwhelmed with transcendental bliss. Nadia Udaya Giri Purnachana. No, how's it go? Shri Guru. Nadia Udaya Giri Purnachandra Gorahari Kripakari Hoile Udaya Papa Tamahoya Nasha Jagataya Ulasha Jagbhari Hari Dwani Hoy. Thus, by his causeless mercy, the full moon, Gaurahari rose in the district of Nadia, which is compared to Udayagiri, where the sun first becomes visible. His rising in the sky dissipated the darkness of sinful life, and thus the three worlds became joyful and chanted the holy name of the Lord. And it happened the anniversary happened just a few weeks ago. Oh, here's another one. Say Kale Nijalaya Utiya Advaita Raya Nritya Kare Anandita Mane Hari Dase Lonya Sange Hunkara Kirtana Range Kene Nache Jane. At that time, she had waited Acharya Prabhu in his own house at Shantipur. In his own house at Shantipur, was dancing in a pleasing mood, taking Haridas Thakur with him. He danced and loudly chanted Hare Krishna. But while they were dancing, no one could understand. So Advaita Acharya is incarnation of Lord Shiva and Mahavishnu, and Haridas Thakur is an incarnation of Lord Brahma. So all these people are appearing in your neighborhood, seeing the lunar eclipse and laughing. Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur immediately went to the bank of the Ganges and bathed in the river in great jubilation. So we have to go have a party on Gangasagar Mela. We have to bathe in the Stones River. Yeah, right? Yeah, yeah. Actually, Prabhupada says if you can't bathe in the Ganges, you should bathe in the ocean. So maybe if we can't bathe that, we'll bathe in the Stones River. Taking advantage of the occasion of the lunar eclipse, Advaita Acharya, by mental strength, distributed various types of charity to the Brahmanas. Yeah, he must have been a software engineer. He must have been an architect for software engineers. And by mental strength, he was able to accumulate so many resources and give charity. This is beautiful Sanskrit, Bengali, isn't it? I never chatted this before. Jagadanandamaya, Sri Guru Charana Pare, Jagata Anandamaya, Deke Mane Sri Vishmaya, Tare Tore Kohe Horidoas, Tomara Ichanaranga Moramana Prasana, Deki Kicho Kare Achebas. When he saw that the whole world was jubilant, Haridas Thakur, his mind astonished, directly and indirectly expressed himself to Advaita Acharya. Your dancing and distributing charity are very pleasing to me. I can understand that there is some special purpose in these actions. Okay. Now, Hari Lila, Shri Hari will chant the Bengali here.
Oh gosh, okay.
Shri Guru Charana Padma.
Acharya Ratna Shivasa, Haile Mane Sukhlasa, Yai Snan, Kaile Gange Jale, Anande Vihavala Mana, Kare Hari Sankirtana, Nana Dana Kaile Mana, Bale.
So many wonderful things we have to sing for these festivals. Next year, we'll have a program at MTSU. Acharya Ratna, Chandrasekhar, and Shivas Thakur were overwhelmed with joy. Oh my God, they were gay. Acharya Ratna and Shivas Thakur were very gay. And immediately they went to the banks of the Ganges to bathe in her waters. Okay. So this is one of my programs, the Anjana Sudha Academy. We're not gonna let homosexuals take this word. Not only homosexuals can be gay. Homosexuals can be gay. We have no problem with that. But also members of the Anjana Sudha Academy are also going to be, all of us will be gay. Join. Their minds full of happiness, they chanted the Hare Krishna mantra and gave charity by mental strength. Charya Ratna and Shivas Thakur. In this way, all the devotees, wherever they were situated in every city, town, and every ISKCON temple on earth, performed Sankirtan and danced and gave charity by mental strength on the plea of the lunar eclipse, their minds overwhelmed with joy. Brahmana Sajjono Nari, Nana Dave Talibadi, Aile Shaba Yautika Laila. All sorts of brahmanas, all sorts of respectable brahmana gentlemen and ladies carrying plates filled with various gifts came to the library on Saturday to see the newborn child. That's tomorrow. So all you brahmana gentlemen and ladies have to come to the library tomorrow at 1:30. We're bringing presentations. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to come with our popcorn maker. So if nobody brings anything, there'll be hot popcorn. Yeah. Yeah. And we'll make popcorn until people say, hold enough. With salt, pepper, and olive oil. Yeah. Seeing the newborn child, okay, so this is right after Gaur Purnima, whose form resembled natural glaring gold, all of them happily offered their blessings. So who's going to bring their Gaurnitai deities tomorrow? Don't be shy. Speak right up. Somewhere in the distance, a dog howled. Ooh. Hey, will somebody think about that? Bring the Gaurnitai deities, and then everybody can see the newborn child, whose form resembles natural glaring gold. All of them happily happily offering their blessings. Savitri, who's that? He doesn't know who Savitri is. Shihari.
No. Savitri.
Maybe she's Gayatri. Gauri, who's that? Shiva's wife. Saraswati, the goddess of learning. Sachi, okay, that's the wife of Indra. My God, I am a white man and I know more about your culture than you people do. You should be ashamed. This damn white man knows more about Hinduism than we do. Ramba, she's Apsara. Arundhati, wife of somebody. Okay. Savitri, Gauri, Saraswati, Sachi, Ramba, Arundhati, Arayata Deva Narigane, Nana Drave Patra Bhari, Brahmanira Veshadari, dressing themselves as the wives of Brahmanas, all the celestial ladies, including the wives of Lord Brahma. So Savitri is the wife of Brahma. Lord Shiva, Lord Nrsingadev, King Indra, Vashishta Rishi, along with Ramba, a dancing girl of heaven, came there with varieties of gifts. Okay. Antarikshe Deve Gana Gandhara Siddhacharana. In outer space, all the demigods, including the inhabitants of Gandharva Loka, Siddha Loka, Charna Loka, offered their prayers and danced to the accompaniment of music, songs, and beating of drums. Similarly, in Murfreesboro City, all the professional dancers, musicians, and blessing gatherers came to the library, dancing in jubilation, right? The Limbaugh Library. We saw your posters on the internet. Yeah. No one could understand who was coming and who was going, who was dancing and who was singing, nor could they understand one another's language. Some folk would talk in hillbilly language, talking in deep South language. Yeah. Yet all unhappiness and lamentation were immediately dissipated, and people became all jubilant. So, oh boy, the library tomorrow morning, all the libraries and librarians at 1:30 will just start smiling and talking to each other, and people will be bringing their books back on time, and everything will just be incredible. We'll see that in the library tomorrow. Thus, Jagannath Mishra was also overwhelmed with joy. Acharya Ratna Srivasta Jagannatha Mishra Pasha Ashitamri Kari Swavadan. Chandrasekhar Acharya and Srivas Thakur both came to Jagannath Mishra and drew his attention in various ways. They performed the ritualistic ceremonies prescribed at the time of birth according to religious principles. Jagannath Mishra also gave varieties of charity. So the Prabhupada said that all these rituals, he says they are rituals, but if performed properly, they are not meaningless. I'm drinking some tea because my throat is falling apart. Okay, yeah. So all these things, there are different rituals at different times and different things. And Prabhupada was trying to establish these things in ISKCON in different levels right from the very beginning. Prabhupada started off with marriages, then he did the initiation ceremony, Diksha, and different things like that. He also engaged us in very simple Vaishnava Homa, which work. But they should be expanded to the proper level where people can come and know at this time you should say these prayers, you should meditate this way. And then the demigods, they take more interest. My God, this is very interesting. All these squirrels have come on my front yard and are lined up like that. All these birds are sitting here. My God, what is this? Let me look outside. Why are the squirrels here? Why are the birds doing that? Yeah. So you do these things and all the demigods take interest and everything changes. Okay. Whatever riches Jagannath Mishra collected in the form of gifts and presentations, and whatever he had in his house, he distributed among the Brahmanas. Professional singers, Brahmanas, got the Brahmanas, right? Professional singers. Okay. So here in Murfreesboro and Nashville, do we have professional kirtan performers? Do we have people who are doing kirtan for personal satisfaction? Okay, we do. Dancers, bhattas, and the poor. He honored them all by giving gifts and riches. The wife of Srivas Thakur, whose name was Malini. By the way, I talked to Srivas Thakur, our old friend in San Jose, maybe even been a year. You know, we had a very, very nice conversation talking about everything. And his wife is Malini. And she's a book distributor. And their daughter, Gita, she was born on Gita Jayanti. And all the things in San Jose and everything else are expanding and everything else. So we should expect things that are going to expand in our yatra. Accompanied by the wife of Chandrasekhar and other ladies, came there in great happiness to worship the baby. So we hope that somebody brings their deities tomorrow with paraphernalia such as vermilion, turmeric, oil, fused rice, bananas, and coconuts. Purport: vermilion, ta'i, fused rice, bananas, coconut, turmeric mixed with oil are all auspicious gifts for such a ceremony. As there is puffed rice, so there is another preparation of rice called kai, or fused rice. I don't know how to make this, but I mean, like it seems that maybe the rice, if you just cook it, it starts to melt and fuse like that. It's very interesting. Is it flat rice? I don't think it's flat rice. Maybe somebody knows. Yeah. Makes an auspicious ointment that is okay, along with turmeric mixed with oil. Okay, is smeared on the body of the newborn baby or a person who is going to get married. These are all auspicious activities in family affairs. We see that 500 years ago, at the birth of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all these ceremonies were performed rigidly. But at the present, such ritualistic performances hardly ever take place. Generally, a pregnant mother is sent to the hospital. As soon as her child is born, he is washed with antiseptic, and this concludes everything. So, so we need some changes in the hospital. We've got to established a teacher training center here where we can teach people how to perform all these rituals. And then everybody will start coming and asking us to go to the hospitals and smear all the babies with turmeric oil. One day after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, one day shortly after, Advaitacharya's wife, Sita Devi, who was worshipable by the whole world, took her husband's permission and went to see that topmost child with all kinds of gifts and presentations. And taking one sip of tea, chamomile, which everybody donated, and Srihari boiled for us. She brought different kinds of golden ornaments, including armlets, necklaces, anklets, and bangles for the hands. And you can get all these on Amazon. You can get you can get smart wristwatches. You can get a bicep jogging packs. They had all these for the baby. They were tiger nails set in gold. Now, probably the tiger who gave those away. Is very interesting how they got them from the tiger. Waist decorations of silk and lace, ornaments for the hands and legs, nicely printed silk saris, and a child's garment, also made of silk. Many other riches, including gold and silver coins, were also present for the child. I saw a documentary on the most expensive things in the world, handmade things in the world, and they were showing, of course, Japanese swords. Yeah, and they showed somebody then who was making saris, and he had maybe about this is coming down in the family. I think it was Bengal, and they had maybe like 20 people who were working for them, and most of them were older people and stuff. And they were showing how they were, folding the saris and then dipping them and taking it out and spreading them and hand painting them. And each sari was, I think, a minimum of like you said, like $800 minimum, and some of them were going for $4,000. And they said it was important how they folded, how the thing showed, and everything else. And of course, these are for state functions where the president of India shows off, his ladies and daughters show off, and they go, "Oh my goodness, we European girls don't have clothes like that." Well, we'll have German gowns and French French gowns that will show up. Riding in a palanquin covered with cloth and accompanied by maidservants, Sita Thakurani came to the house of Jagannath Mishra, bringing with her many auspicious articles such as fresh grass, paddy, gorochan, turmeric, kumkuma, sandalwood. All these presentations filled a large basket. And Prabhupada talks about ladies coming in a covered fashion. When Sita Thakurani came to the house of Shachi Devi, bringing with her many kinds of eatables, dresses, and other gifts, she was astonished to see the newborn child, for she appreciated that except for a difference in color, the child was directly Krishna of Gokula himself. Seeing the transcendental bodily effulgence of the child, each of his nicely constructed limbs full of auspicious signs, and resembling a form of gold, Sita Thakurani was very pleased. And because of her maternal affection, she felt as if her heart was melting. Dhruva Danya Dira Shirshe Koila Bahu Arshe, Chiranjiva Hoya Dui Boy, Hoya Haya Dui Boy. She blessed the newborn child by placing fresh grass and paddy on his head and saying, "May you be blessed with long duration of life." But being afraid of ghosts and witches, she gave the child Nimai. So Sita Thakurani then gave the name. Wow. On the day the mother and son bathed and left the maternity home, Sita Thakurani gave them all kinds of ornaments and garments, and then also honored Jagannath Mishra. Then Sita Thakurani, being honored by Mother Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra, was greatly happy within her mind, and she returned home. On the 5th day from the birth of a child, as also on the 9th day, the mother bathes either in the Ganges or another sacred space. This is called Nishkrama ceremony. So, Gora Purnima was what day?
26th.
Huh? It was 26th. So 5 days afterward would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, would have been the 31st Sunday. And 9 days would have been 6, 7, 8, 9. Would have been like Wednesday. So we're a little bit late. Yeah. But that's the day Sri Hari arrived from India. And he brought many auspicious gifts. Yeah. He brought bead bags and Gopi Chandan. So tomorrow we'll distribute those in charity to the deities. Anybody brings their Gonatai deities, we'll give them nice balls of tilak from the Ganges and bead bags tomorrow. Yeah. This is called Nishkramana, or the ceremony of coming out of the maternity home. Nowadays, the maternity home is a hospital, but formerly in every respectable house, one room was set aside as a maternity home where children would take birth. Probably has nice garden and everything else. And on the 9th day after the birth of the child, the mother would come out into the regular rooms in the ceremony called Nishkramana. Of the 10 purificatory processes, Nishkrama is one of these. So how many people present had this for their children? Formerly, especially in Bengal, the higher caste observed 4 months after the birth of the child as a quarantine. At the end of the 4th month, the mother could see the sunrise. Later, the higher caste, namely the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, only observed 21 days as quarantine, whereas the Shudras had to observe 30 days. The sections of society known as Kartabhaja and Satima, the mother and child was immediately purified after the quarantine by throwing of Harinuta, small pieces of sweetmeats, in Sankirtan. Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra with a newborn child were honored by Sita Thakurani. Similarly, when Sita Thakurani was returning home, she was also honored by Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra. That is the system of respectable families of Bengal. In this way, Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra, having obtained a son who was the husband of the goddess of fortune, had all their desires fulfilled. Their house was always filled with riches and grains, and they saw the beloved body of Sri Chaitanya Maharaj day after day. Their pleasure increased. So I have very, very, very nice pictures of Gaurnitai on my altar that came from, what's her name? Jambavati Devi Dasi. We have one very, very nice audio book in Neos by her whole life. And she was given to us on as a gift for Gaur Purnima one year. We have those on our altars. Yeah. Yeah. So a very, very nice description of what happens after Lord Chaitanya appears. And if we're experiencing this in our own life, we shouldn't be surprised. We received him and asked him to come into our life. We surrendered our lives to him. Last whatever 26th, 11 days ago, 12 days ago. And so now come to the library tomorrow, and we can all talk about what gifts we have come to bring Lord Chaitanya. Some of us are older and we don't have youthful energy in our limbs and senses. Well, what gifts do we have to offer Lord Chaitanya? And now, well, we have this and that, and somebody else has something else. So maybe think about what you're going to offer Lord Chaitanya, tomorrow. And maybe I'll talk a little bit about other people. And we have a guest coming from a foreign country, Shihari Das. He's coming, and he and his family and other people are very interested about the development here, about the cultural development, about our NEOS program, getting a campus. And we have a lot of things to report. So even if you can't come live tomorrow, we'll hope to do a real nice program of broadcasting the program. Maybe we'll broadcast it on 2 or 3 different cameras and so on. So any comments from anybody or questions or anything now? I want to thank everybody for their association, that's for sure. Nobody's saying anything.
Yeah, anybody have any questions
or comments?
or comments?
Yeah, or complaints or donations. I see Anisha Dar, Veena Narayan. Oh, where are they? Vishnu Charan Das, Kiran, Sandhya Singh, Nirja Singh, Darshana K. Desai, Ishwari. Ishwari is from Peru. Shashi Prakash Singh, who was the advocate for all the monkeys in Mathura Mandala. I don't know how his clients are. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Done with pranam. This is Hari Vallapi. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I have a question. Giving charity mentally, does it have the exact same effect as giving charity literally, physically?
All day long, Tanu Subramanian, Tandavika Das, sits on his chair and doesn't do anything. But I don't know if he's going to tell us how much he makes a year, how much money they pay him a year to do that. I know Subal Saka, he's an architect. When he works, for example, I think one time they had to migrate 170 million accounts from Capital One to their new whole new software structure, starting Friday night at 10 o'clock until Saturday at 10 o'clock. He had 6 senior software engineers working under him, and they had altogether 45 people, and they had to migrate, and all of it. And he didn't. He had his family said no, they didn't talk to him for the next 48 hours, whatever it was. He had a bed laid out upstairs in the room upstairs. He had 3 computer screens there, and he said he basically would just get naps whenever he could. And then, but he was always there, and all of a sudden somebody would start screaming him. I don't know what happens, but one of the 6 guys below him would start screaming, and so the so-and-so accounts from this thing are starting to spool into the wrong so-and-so, and this is starting to backdrop, and we're starting to lose them. And he would say, calm down, calm down. Susie, kick him with a so-and-so and start backing up the duplicate thing, and call the Cherry, do this. And so for the next, I don't know what it was, 24, 36 hours. He would work continuously and grabbing bag of sleep. And I guess he wasn't taking coffee because he become a devotee. So I'm not sure what he was taking, Red Bull or something, chamomile tea. And I think he was paid like $400 an hour. Tandavika, is that what an architect's getting when they're working?
Depending on complexity, Maharaj.
Yeah. So I mean, he was being farmed out, but he said after that he couldn't work for 5 days after that. Forget it. He was just exhausted. I mean, you get headaches and everything else. And so that's working by mental strength. I mean, he wasn't doing anything. And his mind, his family could not touch him. He was, they were untouchable because he had to be completely absorbed in keeping all that structure in his mind and what was happening and everything else, you know. And then at that point, it's the same way when you're a mother. Sometimes you have to be absorbed in what's happening with the children, the family, everything else, and if you're weak-minded, you can't do it. But Advaita Acharya and Srivas Thakur, they were Brahmins, so they had strong minds. Somebody else has a strong back. Somebody else has a strong throat. Yeah. Does that help?
So is it the same as actually giving charity?
I mean, he was giving charity. He was taught. I mean, he was being paid for it, but they were giving charity by just telling people to do things. I saw one Dilbert cartoon, and the girl was asking the CEO, well, "Why is it that you get what is it, $150 an hour, and I only get $50 an hour?" And he said, "Because every 15 minutes I lay a golden egg." Yeah, and it's just one good idea, and 150 people have a job for the next 3 months, right? One good idea, but that's not like happening unless you're pure, you're intelligent, you're introspective, and you've got by whatever mental strength. So from the mental strength is coming the verbal aspect, and also from the mental strength is coming the control over the senses. Does it take mental strength to do surgery? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how much can you do a day? Your mind starts to wander. You start, yeah, yeah. But in our culture, we don't appreciate this so much, Yeah, yeah. So it comes out in different ways, but it can just, it says that Haridas Thakur was attracting Advaita Acharya, which is Lord Brahma, attracting Mahavishnu's, Lord Shiva's attention by different motions and directions. And you see amongst these people, just one little glance, a little nod, and this and that and stuff. It's the slightest thing. And if you're really on that platform, you can actually communicate on the subtle platform. You stop focusing on the movie and you just turn to the person next to you in the theater and you whisper something. Yeah. And so if you're on that level, you get out of being concentrating on the gross sensuous platform and you come back from Bor to Bhuva and you're there. They pulled Duryodhana out of the Rakshasas during the Battle of Kurukshetra. They all pulled Duryodhana out of his body at night, and we're all chastising him. We're all helping you, everything else. Why aren't you doing better? You're one of us. You took birth there. We Rakshasas better defeat the demigods. And he started telling them, if you think you can do it, you take over the job. This is difficult. And they all grumbled and growled and pushed him back down into his Duryodhana body. Yeah. And that was his dream, but it wasn't a dream. Yeah. All these cities are dreams, ideas. Yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying is it takes a lot of purity and absorption to be able to actually get the same result as doing it
Yeah.
physically. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Takes a lot of intelligence also.
yeah, your intelligence can be absorbed in your mind, and your mind can be absorbed in your senses. It's just like, again, like example, on a computer, there's the CPU, right? Yeah, central processing unit. Yeah, but behind that, there's the operating system. I mean, the CPU is, some of it maybe is hardwired in, but when your computer boots up, it loads the operating system. Am I right, Tandavika?
Mm.
Where
Yeah.
where when you turn it on, it looks in the memory for a certain place for the operating system, right?
Yes,
And the
Maharaj.
operating system has to be there. So the same way, we have operating systems which run Microsoft Word, which run Excel, which run all these external packages. And they have operating systems which run when the input output stuff. They make the screen work, they make the printer work, they make the the headphones work. Yeah, yeah. So it's the same way. The CPU can be uh, it when it's not using much of the operating system, it shuffles it off. It puts this back into memory. So the CPU can be, when you're doing a really heavy requirement input output operation, the CPU may be the input output operation using your senses, chanting, dancing, and singing may be occupying 90% of your brain, right? Yeah. And therefore your brain cannot think about anything else. So when you're singing, dancing, and what else we got? With meaning, you've got spatial orientation, spatial discrimination, tonal discrimination, the temporal discrimination, and you got the meaning. That's the most intense form of meditation. Singing and dancing is the most natural form of meditation. And so your brain can't think about anything else. It has to run your senses, everything else. The timing's got to be perfect. And your mind is watching your brain. So the mind is then becoming absorbed in the kirtan. You can force your mind to think about Krishna and the chanting and dancing. Then behind that, of course, is the intelligence, which has now become materially oriented. Yeah. So it's also becoming purified. And that wakes up the heart and purifies it. And then we can start, getting detached from all this stuff. Now I engage in the kirtan with volition from my heart. This is Sankhya. Yeah. And if you're a software engineer, is that how it works, Tandavika? Can we are you going to write a book on Sankhya based upon computer programming? Somebody should do that. No? Because it's identical process, you know?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
Maharaj.
Yes. Yeah. And then all these software engineers are going to say, oh, I understand. Oh, there is a God. There has to be a God. Is it possible for a computer to boot up? What does boot mean? Booting up, what does it mean? You know what it means? My God. You, well, English, you say, oh, he pulled himself up by his bootstraps. That's an English phrase. He pulled himself up by his bootstraps, meaning that you just grab yourself and pull. Of course, you can't do that. I mean, you can't pull yourself off the ground by pulling your bootstraps. And so booting up means the same way. And so really, a computer cannot boot itself up. There has to be somebody behind it. So therefore, there must be a God. Is there really? Is there really? Can there really be artificial intelligence with nobody behind it?
No, Maharaj.
Yeah, yeah. Artificial intelligence is artificial. Yeah, yeah. If if you, I saw this government. I'll stop here. I saw this thing on the military base one time when I was visiting my parents, and then when they were in Europe, military base, and there was Tony the Tiger. Was it that was frosted cornflakes? These frosted cornflakes, and Tony the Tiger was liking them and all this kind of stuff in the advertisements, And Tony the Tiger was talking about putting a tiger in your gas tank and all this kind of stuff, advertising it. So then to get the soldiers and stuff to drive properly, they showed Tony the Tiger in the gas tank, and then the picture was a Jeep with a jackass, driving the thing. And it said, "What does it matter if you've got a tiger in your tank if you've got a jackass behind the wheel?" So what does it matter if you've got a fantastic artificial intelligence system if the guy who was designing it is a jackass? So at this point, we will return control of our program back to people more intelligent than we are. And we hope to see you all tomorrow at the Limbaugh conference room in the second story of Murfreesboro Public Library. And we hope somebody brings their Gornitai deities. I'll bring my little pictures, but maybe everybody bring your Gornitai deities, especially if they're effulgent. And otherwise, we'll all have the Zoom meeting set up, I hope, tomorrow. Thank you all very much for your association. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Anybody want to sing the Nrsimha prayer?
I can.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Namaste Narasingaya Praladadai Ni Hiranyakashipu Vaksha Shrilatankanakala Ito Narsingo Parato Narsingo Yato Yato Yamitato Narsingo Bahir Narsingo Hridaye Narsingo Narsingamadim Sharanam Prapade Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadvita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Narsinga Dev Jaya Narsinga Dev Jaya Narsinga Dev Jaya Narsinga Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Guru Devai 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 Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Maharaj. So we
Thank you, Maharaj.
come to the conclusion. Please unmute ourselves and Vaishnava prayer, please. Vancha kalpatupaya shalpa shandubhaya vachapati tanam pamne vaishnavyo
Pranam Pavnebhyo
Yo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Vaishnavibhyo
Namo
Namo
Hare Krishna.
Namaha.
Hare